Hey there everyone. So today I'll be making a Pullman loaf. I'm going to use this to shred it up so I can use it as a breading for some pork Katsu curry that I'm going to make later. I want to experiment with different types of bread, so I'm creating my own. To start, instead of a chocopan, I'm going to go for a more dense French style Pullman loaf. So I've got all my ingredients laid out in front of me. I've got 547 grams of flour. I've got 6 grams of yeast. I've got 32 grams of powdered sugar. I'm using powdered sugar instead of granulated. Never done that before, so we'll see how this goes. I've got my fine sea salt. I've got 11 grams of that. I've got 285 grams of water off screen. I've got 35 grams of egg here, 25 grams of unsalted butter. I've got 79 grams of cream cheese, and I have some egg wash off the screen. So the first thing I want to do is move all this stuff off set. I'm going to use these delicious things later. And what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to take my stand mixer bowl. I'm going to add my flour and my yeast to the stand mixer, just all in one go. And then I'm going to start that going on low with a dough hook. That's this fancy guy here, so you can see. And that's going to mix the flour and the yeast together. All right, flash forward a little bit, and I've mixed my yeast and my flour together. It took me about 15 seconds. The next ask is to add all the ingredients with the exception of an egg wash, which we're going to do over the top of the loaf after we remove the lid. It's going to give it that perfect brown while it rises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my eggs, add in my salt, add in my sugar. We'll see how that goes. Butter, and finally the cream cheese. Now it should have all the ingredients: butter, yeast, flour, cream cheese, eggs, salt, and sugar. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this back on the stand mixer, and it's going to mix for about 30 minutes. After about 30 minutes, you can see the dough's all sticking to the hook in the bowl. It's all one consistent texture throughout. Once you've got all the dough off the hook in the bowl, you want to set aside a greased bowl. It's going to sit in here for about 15 minutes before you add it to the pan later. You can see I've got it all sticky in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this scraper, and I'm just going to take it and scrape it all out of the bowl. Put it onto this floured silpat, though any floured surface will work for you. Okay. And then from there, the trick is to just sort of take the dough. It'll be sticky, but not too sticky. You want to fold it over, edge over edge, like that. And then you want to put it that side down in your bowl. Once you've got it in your bowl, you want to cover this, get all the little bits of dough off your fingers, for about 15 minutes. Now that the dough's risen for about 15 minutes, we can take it with the shaper, put it out onto the mat. It should come out easily because we prepared that bowl so that it would not be sticking to it. This part's not super tough. You just want to get 2 pounds, 3.2 ounces of the dough. So I'm gonna pull out my scale and tear it like this. I'm gonna see what this thing weighs all together. Looks like I've got, it's kind of insane, 2 pounds and 3.2 ounces exactly. Perfect. Love that. It's the benefits of weighing and measuring everything out very well beforehand. So now you want to preform long. What that means is you just take this and you roll it over. You pat out all that so it's kind of in the rough shape of what you want. Now I've got a 2-pound Pullman tray. I'm gonna take the loaf, I'm gonna put it in there. Make sure it fills all those crevices. So it looks a bit like this. Now you want to take that egg wash. You want to take the egg wash to the top. So what I did is I just saved some of the egg from before. I set it off to the side. I'm going to take a brush, just brush the top. I don't have a brush, so instead I'm going to use a spoon. I have a brush, so I'm going to use a brush. I'm just going to brush it so it's all covered along the top. It's going to help give us a golden, beautiful brown on top of the loaf. And we're done. So I'm just going to fill this up. Make sure I've got a nice color. Now the recipe I'm following from Thomas Keller wants you to strain your egg yolks and all, but I don't really want to do that. It's a lot of work. And I think ultimately I'm just going to wind up getting close to the same end result. It's not the French Laundry, after all. All right, now that that's done, you want to take your Pullman lid and we'll put it over the top. And you want to let it sit for 2.5 to 3 hours. But for me, usually really only takes about 40 minutes. So in the last 20 minutes, I'll set my oven to 375. I'll preheat it. I've already got the shelf on the third lowest rung. So when this is ready and it gets to about here in this Pullman loaf pan, right about there, you can see, I'm going to close this lid and put it in the oven. It'll go in there for about 35 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 50 minutes now. You can see it's risen much higher. It's probably got 1/4 inch of clearance off the top of this thing. So what I'm gonna do is I've got my oven preheated, 375. I'm gonna slide the top shut here, and I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 25 minutes. It'll sit in there, and then I'll remove the lid and let it finish for another 10 minutes to get a nice golden brown across the top. Then I'll lay it out here on a cooling tray for everyone to see. All right, so I've got the loaf out. It had its 25 minutes with the tin on top and it's 10 minutes off so that it could get that beautiful golden. And now this is gonna be the big reveal. We'll be seeing it for the first time together. Let's see how it goes. Slides perfectly out. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's kind of cool. See all the steam coming off inside there. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I like that, you know? It's a little bit like got some of these creases here, but all in all, it's a pretty good crust. I like that. I like the other side too. That turned out well. So it's pretty good. It's a little bit tapered on the sides there, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna cut all this crust off, and when it's cooled down, I'm gonna cut up the inside and blend it so I can use it as the coating for my pork curry katsu.